Hello everybody, hope you're doing great today. I'm Leanne and I'm a book artist from the Pacific Northwest, and I love sharing ideas of things to do with books and things to make to put into books. All things like that. What I wanted to do today, I wanted to use my book pages and try something out that I've seen on Pinterest and haven't tried out yet, but have really liked the look of it. So what it is, I've seen, and maybe you have seen it too, it's a butterfly on Pinterest, and they stamp the butterfly onto a word page, and so it just has a really neat impact and effect. And so I want to try it. I want to try it with the butterfly, and I also want to try it with some other types of stamps and things. So the first thing I think I'll do is just try this butterfly. This is a Tim Holtz butterfly. It's kind of smaller than I would like it, but I'm just going to try it and see what it looks like. So I'm going to use my little Tim Holtz machine. This is a little stamping machine. Since I broke my arm, I don't have as much strength in it, and so it's hard for me to push down and stamp, and so I'm going to use this to try it out. And I'm going to position it maybe around right there, and then go ahead and start inking it up. Oops, I used the wrong stamp. So the stamp I am using, let me show you. It's a stamp from Hampton Arts. I'm not sure of the exact name on it. Oh, here, let me see. It says on the side. I try to keep all of this so I can know what it is. So it's a Graphic 45 cling. That's what that says. And this is the back. Off to the races, I guess. So that's what this stamp says. And this is what's in it. I wonder if I put the wrong things in there. No, hot to trot. I think that had to do with the races. My Fair Ladies. Anyway, that's the stamp set. So I'm going to go ahead and push this over. Made a nice image, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this image multiple times, because as I do it multiple times, I'll get an increase of the stamp without having that same force and that same pressure. I just don't have that strength in that arm yet. It's coming though. So this one might be too much for this size of text of the page, is what I'm wondering. Perhaps. But maybe not. I'm going to color it in, I think. Looks mysterious, doesn't it? I think what I want to try doing is using some watercolor on it. I'll do that after I do this other stamping and kind of see what happens to it, if it kind of changes the look. Now I'm going to try the butterfly. Take this one off and grab the butterfly, and I'll do it right about there. Looks good to me. Well, maybe a little lower. That looks better to me. Okay, get this other magnet on there. And then go ahead and stamp up, yikes, stamp up my butterfly. So, I'm going to take a few stamps on this one as well. Yeah, that one's kind of light. I wonder if I even need some new ink here. Might be a nice thing. Maybe I left my lid off at one too many times. I do have a tendency to do stuff like that. Just get moving and don't see all those other parts. Although it's turning out nicely. Yikes. I like it. So that's what that one turned out like. I need to do this more often and just use these book pages like this. Okay, so I'm going to try some other ones with it. What I wanted to try next was this little boy. Got a little paint on his head right there. And this one is also by the Hampton Art Graphic 45, and it's called Drum roll, please. It is hidden. It's called Children's Hour 3. It's kind of a peek of some of the things in it. I got it at Tuesday morning at a great price. Alright, so I'm going to put this page this way, and I think I want it higher. Right about there. And then I'm going to place this. And let's see what happens. Okay. Nice. I think this is a good one. Now the thing I guess I do notice is that it gets in his face, or in the other one case, in her face. But you can get around that by maybe putting just a little bit of paint in the face area, something the same color as the text, if you don't like the look of it having some words within the face, right? I like that. So let me see what I can do with it. Let me remove this, get off any paint smudges while I can. So let me cut them out. So let's see. This is just a scrap that I happen to have over there, but I think the red goes nicely with it. You know, I think I would probably put this on a card, and then with this edge cut off, and then the other edge revealed, like right there. So I'm going to cut this right there. So having that there, and then this revealed there, and then I'm going to put some words there. So I'm going to do a little inking up. I like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Yikes. Things are going flying now. Nice. And then what I want to do is grab my words. Here's two different sets of the Tim Holtz words. You can use any words. You can cut out words from the book that you're just cutting from, or these work great. These are the Tim Holtz ones. So these are both black and white. I'd like two words. How about this one? I'm going to make this one work. This one says, "Adventure is worthwhile." So, how about just going to kind of put them up there and see what it looks like. I think I'm going to break that edge. Let's see, I'm going to cut that one. Adventure. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, and to put it down I'm going to put just a little bit touch of glue. on each of them just to make sure they stick. You know how when you use these, sometimes they don't stay put. So just a touch there. Pick up any glue that might be squishing out. And I like how it just kind of covers, goes over the edge of that ripped part. I might have enough glue on my finger just to finish it off almost. Okay, adventure is worthwhile. So now what I want to do, I want to take my Distress ink and go around these edges. And as I catch the darkness on my paper, it only adds to highlighting the stamp that I used. It just creates a little bit more balance with that. So the paper that I'm using is just an old scrap piece of craft paper, scrapbooking paper, and so it's hard doing the edges. What I would like to do is add just a little bit of even black. So I was using the vintage photos of Tim Holtz. This is a permanent archival ink, but I just like the black on it. See? Just how it, I just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then do a little smudging. I have to carefully because it's going to move differently. You know, you see your lines from your sponge edge. You see how you can see some of my lines? But I'm hoping it looks kind of cloudy like clouds in the horizon. You gotta use your imagination. And then I'm going to use this to kind of just blend a little bit more color in there. So what I could also do, and I have to decide on that, I could even put a black behind that and just make it pop even all the more. Can turn it into a pocket, I can turn it into a side tuck. But see what that black behind it even does? Wonder what it looks like just with more book page behind it. You can even do that. I think it looks adorable. So I like this. I really like just stamping on the book pages and creating something really fun out of them. It's something that's free. You can grab your stamps and take them like if you're watching a movie and you don't want to just, you know, it's the kind of movie that you don't have to pay attention to every single little part. Go ahead and stamp away, and then later on you can grab them and use them. Okay, now that I have this one done, I want to try adding the watercolor. So because this paper is so thin and it won't work well with it, I think what I'm going to do is put some gesso on. But what I will do is first try it, just so we can see what's going to happen. But what I'm going to do is first try it, though, just to see what's going to happen. So this is a little tray I got. Isn't that fun? Hello, gorgeous. So I'm going to try using that without getting too much glare with my ink, and then just kind of see what happens. So what I'm going to do is pick out the blue first, add a little water, grab a brush, and see how it absorbs. You know what? It's not the end of the world. This particular page, anyway. I think rather than take the extra step right now with the gesso, I'm just going to go ahead and lay this in. So I'm adding blue to her dress. Just to add a little bit more life to the whole thing. And I might just add like pink to her flowers. Put that on the other side, and that is a bright pink. So I will not need very much of that at all. Just a little bit. Right up there in the flowers. Maybe in the back of her umbrella too. Little spots on her dress as if her dress had pink flowers in it. Then what I want to do, I'm going to dye. This is tea dye. I'm just going to see if I can just take away and create some contrast for skin. That works. So there you go. A nice watercolor washed look. Let's see what it does with this. I'm going to go back to the blue. I kind of like him though. I'm going to go to the butterflies. Where do I have my butterflies? And just add some color to these butterflies. I'll start with the pink because it's so vibrant and pretty. So it just makes it pop and come alive. Even come off the pages more, and you can still see through it to see the words. They're not gone. It's just so easy. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little bit more and just kind of, let me check it first on some paper. Just kind of make a light wash around the outside, catching up some pink and some blue. Not coloring the whole thing, although I could color the whole thing, but just catching some of that color onto the words, bringing it out. I like it. Let's dry it and see what it looks like. That's the wrong color, but you can, this isn't the color I would choose, but do you see how wonderful that looks when you actually then match it up with a pattern paper? It just brings it even more to life. So with this one here, I think I want to do just a straight cut. So when I cut right now, since I just had it wet, I really do want to make sure it's dry, because if it's not dry, I'm going to get some dragging and ripping in my paper. So I can feel it actually dragging just a little bit. I'm living on the edge. Okay, slowly, and then the top one. This is just a piece of wrapping paper, but see with the pinks behind the butterflies, how it just kind of brings it out. You can just really have fun with that. Okay, what I want to do is do a little bit of the edging. So I'm going to try something. I'm going to back it with this one. Cover up those white edges. I think what I want to do is just put a little bit of fabric behind it. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, and I'll cut about right there. It's just so nice when you can just rip and you get those beautiful edges. I like that. Okay, I'm just going to glue it down with this. So hopefully the glue won't be a problem on this book page. We'll see. I'm going to glue it onto here. And then I'm going to glue this down. And then I can actually put this right onto a tag if I wanted to. And to do that too, I think what I want to do is do some stamping on the tag. Okay, I think this one is a great one to use. And I'm going to use the brown Distress ink. Okay, I guess the first one's going to be right like that. Then I want to get some text in there too. And I want to mix up the colors a little bit. I want to use color and not just have all brown in that background. So I'm going to grab some of this. I'm going to use it with the blue. Actually, I should do it this way. See, I love how it then picks up blues in the card. Now what I want to do is go back and do just a little bit more of the coloring. I've got it, and so I just as well pick it up and use it on my card. You could use your Distress ink as well, but I've got this right there, so like, why not? So then it just has a nice blush picking up the colors that are already in the card. One more thing that I'd like to do, I'd like to pick up a little bit more of the green, personally. So let me see what green I have. I don't have a big green selection, but I have some, so I'm going to use what I've got. Okay. So now that's pulling in those colors, especially since green is such a dominant color with the edge, the green and the blue. I like picking that up as well. And then right there, because it kind of frames it in a little bit. So I still get all the blushing color. And then I think what I want to do is add some kind of a text down there. Or what I could do is take some, no, not that. Let me see what I've got. Now this would be good. Not all who wander are lost is perfect for those butterflies. Perfect. Okay, so what I want to do now is lay down my card. Lay my layer down. Nice. And then what I want to do, I do want to reinforce this. I'm going to grab some glue. So to finish off, I'm going to put this back, keep it stored right there. To finish this off, I want to bring the white back up here, because it's so white. What I might do is also add just a little touch of lace at the bottom. I like that little look it gives. So I had this left over from the ripping that I did for the background, which would go nicely at the top right here. So I'm going to just feed this through. And then I'm going to get this attached. You know, I kind of like the book text just sticking out at the bottom. Let me grab some. So it's really all going to depend on the type of look that you're going for. If you're going for a look that you want it just a little bit more streamlined and maybe with a masculine touch, you could do something like that on the edge, which is wonderful. If you want something that's a little bit more frilly, a little bit more on the pretty side, the lace embellishment is a nice addition to it. So for now, I'm going to just add the paper because I like it and because my glue gun is heating up still. So go with this. So I didn't need that whole block on the back there, though, I would say. What I might do, though, at the same time is just peek a little bit out in another area, like on that side right there. Just kind of creating that look, duplicating it a little bit. Just like that. Not very much, but just enough. And then what if we put a little bit just up here? Just a little teeny tiny peek of it. So I don't know if I want to keep this side bare, so I think I might, at the bottom there, add just a touch. It just keeps going and going, but I like it. Just a little peek. So this needs a little more glue. So that's what we've got going with this. I like how it turned out. And so once again, that's just coming from your book page. Awesome. So here's these two. And then let's see what we can do with the lady. A paint chip peeking out that edge right there. So to do that, I'm going to cut off, I think right there, right where the letter is. So then I have a nice straight edge right there. Then I'm going to cut that off. And that's actually just the perfect size, because then I can cut that off. Let me make sure I don't want it, well, I know I don't want that word there, so I need to cut that off no matter what. I'm going to cut that off and then reassess the size. So I like it where this is not sticking out. So I'm going to slice off just a little bit more of it. Let's just see what happens. Oops, wrong bottle. This is a new bottle. Not opened yet. This is the one I want. So this actually will look nice with lace along it. So I don't want a ruffled lace. I'm just going to cut this one off. It's got that a little ruffled edge. So by cutting it off, I'm going to get a stretch. So I can go the full distance. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to hot glue it. Get my initial piece down. Nice. It's amazing the distance you can get by removing that little ruffle part. So I've got a ruffled edge. So I think it would look nice still backed as a whole. So I'm going to take my blue, just bring a little in here. Let me see. I'm going to do it on the back of this. So instead of using the brown to do the edges, just grabbing some of this blue, and it just creates the movement and it brings your eye more into her. Now I could have done this part here before I had that on, this particular edge, but it's not seeming to make much of a difference by this, although the difference it is making is that I'm getting some markings from my tool. So I just have to creatively work around that. So I'm kind of moving in, taking up that space near to her dress. So what I want to do now is take a stamp on top of that. Oops. To just break up a little bit of this text. So this is a nice frilly stencil. I think I'm going to just try a little bit of stenciling of this and just see what happens. So for this one, what I'm going to take is my little makeup brush and kind of do little swirls. Okay, and then do a little bit behind her. I should show you what it looks like first. Now I'm going to do a little bit on the back side of her. Touch there, touch at the top, just kind of keeping an eye around her. I like that. So what I want to do at this point, though, I do want to still stamp, but what I want to stamp is a little bit on the cards there, the ink, the paint chip. So let's see what I've got. I've got this word text here. I just got these at the dollar store. I'm trying different organizing ideas, and I thought, well, this holds the stamps nicely, because you know how sometimes they just kind of fall out and around. So I thought, well, I'll try this. So far it seems to be working fine. So for this, I think I might want to take the black permanent ink. Let's see, I'm going to go on the back of this. And I don't need much. That's what that looks like. I'm just going to take a piece of regular coffee dyed paper. I think she's going to look grand just on something like that. So I'm just going to save her to make up the page. Probably I can do something like a pocket is what I'm thinking I'll do on this side. And when I do that, I'll probably put something sticking up just at the top. And then something right there to still catch the eye. So maybe I'll have a ticket hanging down, not this one, but just something still breaking a few of the lines there. But I like that. I'm just going to have that in my stash and ready to go. I think it turned out great, and I like using the stamping on top. So here's 3 things that I've got that I created after stamping just onto a plain old regular book page. Got that. Got that. And I got that. This one I think is something you could just use so easily all over the place. Anyway, I hope you had a great day. I hope you had fun seeing this little idea. I've seen it various times on Pinterest, but I've never tried it, so now I have. So have a great day, everybody, and I will see you later. Bye.